Okay, cool. It is now recording. Should I do my bumper?
Uh, yeah, do your bumper.
My,
You gotta, yeah,
I had a
you gotta do the bumper.
and now I have a new name thanks to you seconds ago. Um,
Seconds ago.
yeah. So so Johnny suggested that maybe call this video series or whatever you want to call it, memory lane, and I think that's perfect. I was going to call it a question mark, but um,
You're gonna get arguments in the comments
oh,
that's gonna be like, Charlie's was better.
ah,
Uh, I like them both. I think question mark's great too.
yeah, the memory lane seems to hit it. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it does.
and just to let everybody know, my my back is hurting, so I'm laying down and being so unprofessional.
I didn't know that was an option. I so next time we do this, I'll be laying down too. Oh,
So maybe everybody can lay down like that. What's that actor that does the coffin?
yeah, that's probably how they watch it. When I'm scrolling through stuff, I'm usually just laying down, just doom scrolling for hours on end.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it. I do it in the very position you're in now. That's how I that's how I intake 90% of the internet.
Cool. And, how, to introduce you, I was like, how do I introduce you? You're definitely number one, my friend.
For sure. Yeah, that's the first credit.
Yeah. Number two, I think, you're a comedian that's well known.
I am a comedian.
Um, and you've toured with Patton, Oswalt, and Brian Posehn. Is there anybody else I should?
Chris Porter. I don't know when this is coming out, but if you're in San Francisco, you can catch me with Chris Porter the 29th through August 1st. We're
Oh,
doing Wednesday through Saturday at the San Francisco Punchlines. So if anybody wants to come out,
yeah, no, it'll come out before then.
yeah, cool, cool. I'll get a plug out early, and then that
Oh,
way, perfect setup for it too. But
oh,
yeah, Chris Porter, I got to open for Robin Williams. It's his birthday today, so
no,
happy birthday, Robin.
yeah, cool. Um, so yeah, I was gonna do this. My first question is, who are you?
I'm Johnny Taylor. Uh, I like it. It's 3D. I didn't know you had visual props.
I I thought of it at the last second.
There you go. But yeah, I'm Johnny. It's wild. I was thinking about it today. We met in 1997,
Yeah,
which is almost 30 years ago.
yeah,
I was a kid. I was just a kid. I was 20 when we met. I
yeah.
couldn't even drink. I turned 21. I was working the night shift at Borders. And I got off at 11 on March 4th. And I think the store closed at 11. I thought we got out there probably 11:45. And Jeff Perugino, he was the closing manager. He was like, "What are you doing for your 21st?" And I was like, "Psh, going home, dude. I got nothing going on." And so we went to this shitty bar and had a few drinks, did karaoke. So I spent my 21st with Jeff.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, pretty funny. But
Yeah,
yeah, just a child then.
I know. And then so I was like probably 24.
Yeah, you were a kid too. We were both just pups.
But it was funny because I remember I gravitated to you for whatever reason because we're in the music department and I don't know, it just seemed
Yeah, I mean, I think we were both, there was not a lot of like people that were in their early 20s
yeah,
working there at the time. And
that's right.
I remember I didn't have any friends really, at that point. I would work for Tower Records uh, when I was 16, had my worker's permit, so I got to work 20 hours. and made a friend group there. But then, my mom was like real sick, so I was I moved to further out and was having a hard time getting over to Tower on Watt. But I had lived fairly close to that Borders that had just opened. I started right from the sort. I think I was a couple of weeks in where the store hadn't opened yet, but you were there. And I
Yeah.
remember gravitating towards you and, you know,
I,
Heidi and Dave, even though Heidi and Dave didn't like me at first, but
I think they were suspicious of me too. So.
yeah, yeah, they had suspicion in their hearts. Uh, but
Very-
I was obnoxious. I get why, you know, people didn't want to hang out with me, but we made friends because we both loved music. That was really the common bond.
yeah, and we like movies too, I think, and
Movie wrestling.
yeah, wrestling. Yep, totally.
Uh,
We went to one.
yeah, we did. One saw WWF was I think it was WWF still.
Yeah,
And but yeah, I mean, we've known each other for a long ass time. You turned me on to Elliott Smith.
that's one of my questions. Is like, were you already a fan, or were you like, or did you learn from me or somebody else?
I did. You taught me the ways. Jedi Master. I think you had only recently gotten into him, maybe like for a year, maybe. But I actually remember the very moment I heard of Elliott Smith, and it was because we used to have the staff picks on one of the end caps where everybody got to pick an album, and I remember just like casually asking you, I was like, "Oh, Charlie, what's yours?" And it was either or.
Wow.
And I remember picking it up and go, "Oh, you got to listen to it." And it was like it was like that Garden State moment where was it Zach Braff in that movie? Zach Braff hands Natalie Portman the headphones and she listens to the Shins for the first time. It was kind of like that because it was on an end cap, and I remember putting the headphones on and speed trials, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta check this dude out." And you were super excited because uh, there was like he was recording a new album. He had just got signed by DreamWorks, I think,
Yeah.
and there was just like all sorts of like you were really just burning hard for Elliott Smith, uh, and it was adjacent to like stuff I liked, like I loved singer-songwriter types. I love Jeff Buckley, and he had like I got into Jeff Buckley probably like 95, and then he passed away. Like I learned of Jeff Buckley's passing at your house.
Oh,
Isn't that random?
yeah. I don't.
We were watching like MTV or something,
Oh my.
and it was like a breaking news that he had passed away.
Wow.
So yeah, crazy.
That that is crazy. Um, Kind of going back a little bit though. Um, what do you remember listening to that kind of, you know, had you help with your music taste, I guess, or interests?
Like in general,
Yeah, in general, like
yeah,
the record, the earliest record that you can remember that that affected you. I think, like for example, mine would be Yellow Submarine.
yeah. It was probably Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
I remember listening to it, and my dad had an 8-track player in his van. My dad used to have this big van that had this big Pegasus portrait on the side of it. Total hippie shit. And I he had an 8-track player, and I remember listening to 8 tracks with my dad and Pet Sounds, Heart, like Dreamboat Annie. I think he had Jim Croce, Boston's first record, and I just always loved music, and throughout the 80s, I had a much older brother, so I got into like you know Poison and Van Halen and Motley Crue and stuff, and I still listen to that stuff now and again for nostalgia,
Yeah.
But then I think at the time that we were starting to hang out, I was really into Nick Cave. I was really into like I said, Jeff Buckley. I was into Tori Amos pretty heavy at the time. Um, so I started to kind of in my 20s starting to get more into like singer-songwriter types for sure. But really classic rock really kind of was my first venture. And the Beatles, obviously, Abbey Road.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, I probably wasn't doing the same.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the time.
Yeah, fully. And so, um, so you eventually worked for Tower, and then we worked together at Borders. Which there's a lot of people, a lot of Elliott, older Elliott fans that were employees at Tower, or
Yeah.
not Tower, Borders.
I'm sure there was Tower too, but yeah, probably a lot of Borders. There's got to be. I mean, it was just like that was when Borders, when he was really starting to get better known. That's like the same time Borders was like in its peak. We worked at Borders in their peak years,
Yeah, yes.
in my opinion.
And I think they were pretty good years. I think it was a good place. And,
Dude, I met my first wife at Borders,
yeah.
first of many, but still. Uh, but yeah, I have super fond memories of Borders, and yeah, I'm still in touch with more than I thought I'd be,
Yeah, yeah.
from people that work there. So,
Same here.
um,
Like, not even any college friends I'm in touch with.
dude, Borders was my college.
Yeah.
Went to the College of Borders Bucks, but yeah, it's no, it was like a really special time. And God, we got to listen to so much music. We got to listen to so much stuff that was like brand new and fresh. And I
Yeah.
remember the first time I ever heard Placebo was at Borders. First time I ever heard Pulp was at Borders. You know, Dandy Warhols. So many bands that I would have never been kind of into it all, but we would listen to them overhead. I'd be like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah, it was fun. We got to bring our own stuff.
Yeah, it
Like,
was super cool.
I would play Elliott.
I remember. Yeah,
I
I
might even
remember.
he miser in too.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting soundtrack.
Yes.
We were able to play that in the main store,
Uh-huh.
which was like revolutionary as far as like because we're always listening to like Joe Beam and stuff, and some sort of smooth jazz. But I remember we were able to sneak the Good Will Hunting soundtrack into the main mix, and that was like a pretty big day where you didn't have to listen to just complete drivel the
Yeah.
whole time. And no offense to people like Dave Koz or whatever, but it was I remember being like, oh wow, we're listening to something that's pretty good. That's what a change.
Yeah. It was cool. I really enjoyed my time. And it's lasted a long time. I love it.
Yeah. And you went to work in San Francisco, so
Well, it's funny. Yeah, I did the San Francisco gig too. But I had originally, I saw the Goodwill Hunting movie, and then I was like, there was, Angelus sounded like Angela to me, and
yeah.
like I, it was a beautiful song, and I was like, oh, okay, because Angela was the name of my ex,
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
and so um, I went to Borders, and in Seaside here in the area where I live, and I guess I was down here for visiting or something, and I listened to it, and I was just blown away, like. I was on the listening station here.
Yeah,
And then I went across the street and bought it from Circuit City. So there's
love it. I can't afford these Borders prices. I'm trying to get this for 11.99.
yeah. Yeah, I felt bad, but not so
Hey
much.
man, you got to do what's right for your wallet sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you remember what your first record was?
So first Elliott, I think I bought either or pretty early. I think I might have bought it like that same week
Oh,
that
wow.
you told me about it. Um, and then I went back and I bought self-titled not long after that. And it took me a minute to get around to Roman Candle because I was burning those two other albums. I was just like listening to them constantly, you know. And I remember just being like the songwriting, you know, also the finger picking.
Yeah,
That was one of the first things about Elliott's music that kind of connected with me. Was I was like, man, he's a really fucking good guitar player. And he doesn't get enough credit for being an incredible guitar player. And some of those melodies are just so complicated, and people don't realize it, you know. I think they think of him as like kind of just a folkster that's playing a few chords and humming a tune, you know, but it's so intricate, you know.
yeah, it's a like Tomorrow from XO. It's just like,
Unreal. I don't
that.
even know how he pulls it off, honestly.
I heard him play it once live. That's how
Yeah. How many times do you see Elliott?
17.
That's so many times.
A lot of them
Yeah.
were during that period of, 98 and 99 and, all the times he was kind of touring, act-
Yeah.
and then I would hit like, certain shows, um, when they would pop up like in LA and mostly in LA really. Um,
Right.
he was living down there. So I'd just kind of pepper that and go to the shows down there. So it was, and I got the full swing, like the great shows and the most difficult shows to watch.
Right. The ones where he would get frustrated.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah. I
uh,
saw him twice, both great shows.
you saw 'em- so okay, going back a little bit back again. Um, you remember? So we were kind of both kind of together on growing as fans of Elliott.
Hmm.
Um, I was curious if do you remember? It's probably me. I found out through the Skylash website that Elliott was going on tour in 1998, and that's also when he was nominated for the Oscar. And
Yeah.
I thought the tickets were going to be so hard to get. And he was playing the bottom of the hill. I
Hmm.
believe that's your first show, right? The,
Yep. That was my first show.
yeah. So that was May 18th, 1998.
Yep.
And you remember that experience? Like,
Completely.
oh,
I remember it like it was yesterday, really.
crazy. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
wondering
And
if you could talk about it. Like,
yeah, it was awesome. I remember I think you still living in Sac, or had you moved to San Francisco by then?
no, no, I'm still in Sacramento.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, "Hey, I'm gonna buy Elliott Smith tickets. Do you want to get tickets?" And I was like, "Yeah." I think they were like $20 or something, $18. It wasn't even that expensive. I remember I had like a 20 in my pocket. I remember like I just gave you $20, and you were like, "Cool, I'll get your ticket."
Cool.
Uh, it seems like we went and met up with some people, but I think we drove down. I think.
Just you and me.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember, but I remember yeah, I remember this was my first time at the bottom of the hill. I've been to a million shows at the bottom hill since then, but I remember that was like my first show there. And I remember like it wasn't that packed.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't.
And we were right up front.
Yeah, yeah, we were pretty close.
Yes.
Oz and Quasi and Elliot,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like you said, it wasn't like super packed.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. It was like it was awesome. And, you know, he played a bunch of stuff that I wasn't super familiar with yet, you know, stuff that I became really familiar with over the years. But, uh, you know, I remember there was a few songs that I wanted him to play, and I was like, yeah, I hope he plays it. I wanted him to play Coming Up Roses really bad. And I remember he played it real towards the end.
Yeah,
I don't exactly remember, but it was really like might have been like the last or the second to last tune he played. But I remember we covered Jealous Guy.
Yeah,
It sounded amazing. Our Quasi came out and played with him. Uh, and it was awesome. And I remember him just chilling at the bar
yeah.
after the show. And I was like, dude, you got to go talk to Elliott Smith, man. What are you doing?
As far as I remember, we were tucked in the back. There's a like a back area where
Hmm.
like now there's a pool table. It's that large, you know,
Yeah,
space. And we were just kind of like chatting and stuff, kind of hanging out, seeing what's going to happen, like what's
right,
going on after the show, and and talking about it and all that stuff. And I remember that I saw Elliot walk by, and I was like, because I had bought a Division Day 7-inch
right.
that same night, and like you kind of pushed me, like you didn't push me literally, like,
Yeah, but
but you were like kind of patting me, like go go go, you should go talk to him, or
it's your chance.
yeah, here's your chance. I'm all like, okay, and like you said, he was just coming from the bar with
Hmm.
in his hand, and he kind of in front of the merch table, which I think Quasi for sure was kind of there selling
Yeah,
stuff for everybody. Um, and maybe Bill too from Bird Dog. Um, and I remember we kind of circled them a little
yeah,
bit, kind of like
yeah,
I know you were to my right, and then everybody, and then there's two other people that we met up there um, that were to your right, and Elliot was kind of in the middle, and and I think what did I think I just asked him for an autograph and
yeah,
said thank
yeah.
you and all that stuff, and he was really
He
nice.
was really nice. Yeah. And we were posseed up on him. So I would have thought like, he were like, well, what are these people doing? But we were just like
He probably,
nerds, you know?
yeah, it was. I agree. I mean, he probably thought we were ganging up on him or something.
Yeah. He was like, what are these people about to do? But he was like super cool, like super casual about it. He was just like, hey guys, like totally, totally chill. I remember you got his autograph, then I shook his hand. I was like, that was a really great show. And he was like, oh, thank you. I remember it was like the most genuine, like, thank you, he was super just like the chillest, so
Yeah. When I asked for the autograph, he had a beer in his hand. He
yeah,
went and put it down to
yep, I remember that.
clean signature.
Yeah, I just remember being so like feeling on such a high after that show.
Me too. And I had
uh
somebody, I don't know if you remember this, I met somebody there that was very,
I
very cute.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do. That's that was a good night. That was a really, really good night.
Yeah.
uh and Elliott's fans, for the most part, I've encountered some out in the wild, but Elliott fans, for the most part, are just really cool people. They're really genuine, earnest, a lot of artist types. And yeah, everybody there was super cool. The vibe was super good, and it was just it was cool. It was like, to this day, I've been to a million shows just like you, and I've that's still in like the handful that I remember so many moments
Yeah.
from it. And some shows I barely remember going to,
Exactly.
for a variety of reasons, but mostly because they just weren't super memorable. But that one was, that was one of the best shows. I mean, it's in my top probably five
Yeah.
ever, and a part of it was how intimate it was, and how close we were. It felt like we were part of the show almost. We were just right there, felt like he was singing to us. So
Talking, and, conversing with us and stuff.
yeah, yeah, it was cool. It was such a great memory,
Uh,
Beck, I remember I saw Beck
yeah.
at where were we? Probably the Greek. I think we saw him at the Greek.
Uh-huh.
And Carly, Nicole's sister Carly. Do you remember Carly?
No, it sounds.
She worked at Borders for a minute. But Carly had backstage passes through some sort of music rep. Think like some rep. Maybe it was a Sony rep. I don't know. Who was Beck? What was Beck's label?
Hmm.
His major label, because this was Midnight Vultures era.
Oh,
And I remember I walked with her and a couple of our other friends, and they all had passes and I didn't. And I remember walking and them showing the pass and me just walking with them and got right back. I still have this great picture of us all with Beck, which is funny. But that's like an amazing show. I saw the Stripes, White Stripes, the Greek, incredible. What was your first concert, Charlie, ever?
that's a hard. That's a hard one to answer. I want to say. I think it was. I want to say it's the Beach Boys at Laguna Seca
Oh wow,
in the '80s. Of course, Brian wasn't there, and
yeah,
I don't know.
lot of Mike Love
Yeah,
in
a
the
lot of Michael Love. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if Al Jardine was part of it or, um, and definitely, I don't remember if Brian's brother was part of it. I know what's the name? The drummer's brother
yeah.
was not alive at that point.
Yeah. Then of course John Stamos was no,
That
John
was
Stamos was there.
pre.
He was beating the skins for him.
Not.
Um, no, but that was probably like Kokomo era, where it's just
No, it was early, even earlier than that.
really earlier than Kokomo. Okay, damn.
Yeah, because John Stamos would probably be
He
there.
probably would. Probably he's an honorary Beach Boy.
Yeah, exactly. He'll play drums for him all day long.
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
yeah, that was my first concert, I think.
That's cool.
The first record that you bought.
First record that I bought with my own money. Uh, so with my own money, and then just steal the tape from my brother. I bought I think I bought it the same day. I bought Dr. Feelgood, Motley Crue,
Oh, well, cool.
and I bought uh GNR Lies. It was Guns N' Roses' second record. It was like an EP.
Yeah, yeah.
But I had dubbed Appetite for Destruction from off one of my sister's tapes. And yeah, I was probably like 12, maybe 11 or 12. And had made money mowing some lawns and spent it on music.
Yeah.
Still doing it as, same as I still do. I make money and then I buy vinyl now, you know.
This is my latest right here. Um,
What do you got? Oh, nice. Dude, I love the Bee Gees.
really cool.
Yeah, I just got a new house and I have a whole office area that my girlfriend uh she kind of was like, wow, you got an office, go crazy. So I actually am able to put all my dump stuff around, but I have one. I've just got a turntable in here. We have one downstairs, like a really nice turntable setup downstairs, but I just got one for my office maybe a week ago. I have one record up here, and it's Queen is Dead by the Smiths.
Oh, right on. That's
Yeah, that's the only one I have up here right now, but I'll work. I'll bring some from downstairs up. Uh,
definitely a good start. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
to go back just a little bit.
yeah. Let's keep going back,
Um, well, I just want to tell you that if you want a copy of that show that you and I went to, I have one.
dude. I would love that.
It's a it's a board, record.
Oh, really?
Nice, short.
Yeah, very interested in that.
We'll talk about that.
If
Uh,
I remember correctly, he sounded amazing that night.
he did, yeah. He was
So,
not frustrated. Nothing. Everything was chill.
yeah,
So it was
we
nice.
got a good night. Went on a good night.
Yeah, we did.
I saw him again in 2000. I saw him in Seattle,
On the figure.
uh, figure eight tour, and he was really good that night too.
Was it bumper shoot?
No, it was it was at the break room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Coach.
I have the poster from the show hanging up in my office currently. Um,
You've seen that I've sent? Have you seen that poster in there?
no, but I added it myself. I,
No.
s-
Yeah.
I snuck it in.
Yeah. Great. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, what else want to ask you? Well, one of the things I left off as part of your credentials, is that you're into media. You know,
right,
like, you create. I mean, you're first of all, you support your community well as a comedian, and your
for
friends
sure.
well by offering help to people,
Yeah,
and so I applaud you for that.
oh, appreciate it. Yeah, I take a lot of pride in the comedy scene in Sacramento uh, because I think for many years it was overlooked, and I think it's we have a really great scene out here. And I teach classes at the Sacramento Punchline, and the older I get, I've been doing stand-up for 15 years, and the older I get, the more I take pride in watching other people get better at it and start doing something with it. And there are people that I've taught in my class that are getting really great shows, and people I started with that are having success. And I've had, I could die tomorrow, and I'd be really happy with what I put out there with my body of work. I'm pretty proud of. So um, it's it's nice to see others burn for it and really work at it and get better and have some success. And I help them however I can. If it's doing classes or if it's helping them out with their website or with a press kit or something, it's stuff that I know how to do, and I know that there's people that would charge a lot of money to have it, and I know comics a lot of times don't have a lot of money. So uh, we kind of meet at a happy medium where they get something really cool that's functional, and I make some beer money. We call it a day, So
Yeah, funny. So all that experience kind of led us to kind of work together, right?
yeah, which is cool. I mean, it was just a post. You'd posted or I'd posted that I was trying to build up my portfolio, and I had an actual website, and I had done a few uh, kind of really, really portfolio building stuff on the real cheap. And uh, I was able to get, some friends that let me work on their stuff. And
Yeah.
then, you'd, I don't know if I reached out to you, if you reached out to me,
You wrote a
but
saying that you were kind of, um, for the lack of a better term, bored and wanted
yeah,
a challenge. But
yeah,
I'm all like, I think I might have been still at Stanford after my surgery,
you were.
and
Yeah.
and I just like kind of like sheepishly said, I wish, I wish I could get my website back up, and then like, pity party kind of thing.
No, and it's funny because that's a website I still would visit now
Oh,
and again. I would go through and at least once or twice a year I would look at it just because it was such a time capsule. And I remember when you started the website, being, it was like a daily visit,
yeah,
and the forum, the Sweet Addy forum, I was more of a lurker, but I would always read what was the latest, and what
right.
was going on, and set lists and pictures and just rare stuff. So um, I was like, oh, it's a simple website, probably be pretty easy to kind of like refresh it while still keeping the feel of it. And then I dug into the website and I was like, bro,
Yeah,
there is fucking so much stuff in this website. Just, so just archive upon archive of stuff. And I was like, man, I might have bit off more than I could chew on this one, you know.
Well, can I quickly say something because we're
Sure.
so deep into this discussion that I didn't explain to how, other than that we were friends and you're a comedian and so on. We haven't told everybody that you and I are basically co-creators of
Well,
this.
you're definitely the creator. I'm doing the back end, but I mean it's your baby as far as content goes, you know. That's all. Bro, you did
I would say
an amazing job archiving the history of Elliott Smith as an artist. You should be really proud of it.
thank you. Um, uh, but I would say co-creator because you have like brought things back to life. You know, you're like wanting to do it, and now we talked the other day about how we're like you're in it to win it kind of thing. And
Yeah, too far in now,
yeah,
too deep.
yes, I'm too deep. And so, um, yeah, I mean, I've always tried to have a sense of all the fans being, equal in that sense,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and it's
I wasn't the only one who's bringing that info in.
right, right, for sure. And it is, you can really tell it's like you know, it's a community project, really. But you definitely curated it very well, you know. And my whole thing with it, and I told you this from the start, was, you know, it's hasn't been active for a long time. You know, I don't know. I think the last post was maybe 2013 on the original site. And so, 13 years of, it just kind of chilling there. And there's something beautiful to that. You know what I mean? It's like it's still there, and I wanted to refresh it, but I didn't want to bastardize it, with a lot of like bells and whistles and stuff. I wanted, to keep the original, like, not aesthetic necessarily, but keep it functional like it was on the original site, and keep it easy to navigate and easy to kind of find your way around, but just make it alive, and feel alive. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of getting it there. And people that out there and the Elliott verse, that love the old site. I also love it, and that's why it's there. It's going to be easily accessible, and for eternity.
On the newer server.
Yeah, yeah. It's already on a new server, just hanging out, as functional or dysfunctional as it ever was.
Not gonna
Um,
really
yeah,
from
yeah.
the online version now.
Yeah, we brought the broken links with us,
Yeah.
from the old site, so people
Like
are going to be able to just easily click and go back and see how it was and browse through how it was. All the files, all the original files are there. All the original HTML is, just coded the same way you coded it, and it's there, accessible. But I think people are really going to like the new version of it. I think. There's some stuff, I think, a lot of surprises. There's a lot of stuff people haven't seen on there, and I think people are going to dig it. And it's really functional. It's functional on mobile, and it's going to be cool. I can't wait for people to kind of check it out. So
yeah, and for everybody to know is that I've been working with you through the mobile version
yeah,
all this time, and
I
then
didn't know that.
yeah, I didn't know that or I mean, I knew that I hadn't looked at it on desktop, and I forget what was the reason why. Oh, we were practicing how I'd send stuff to you,
Yeah, yep.
and
Yeah.
I opened it up, and I was like, holy shit, kind of thing,
It
because
looks good. It looks good. I mean, it works on mobile, but man, it looks like $1 million on a desktop.
Hey, I'm sorry. I This is a bad time to ask you, but how much more time do you have to talk?
Oh, here, 15, 20.
Well, I would like to lean more to 20, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll do 20.
all right. Let's see what else. What did you enjoy working on though? Yeah. Were you, well, first of all, were you kind of okay with it coming out that the site was being recreated, basically?
Yeah, sure. Uh, yeah, I mean, I didn't mind so much, you know. I think how it looks right now is good, you know. It looks pretty good now. So even if somebody stumbled upon it by an internet accident, I would still, you know, feel pretty pleased with how it looks. But yeah, I didn't mind. I think if anything, it's, you know, now there's a sense of anticipation in the air of what it's going to be like. And
Very hovering.
yeah, and you know, we've got, you know, we still got some elbow grease to put into it to make things, you know, a little bit better than they are now. But we're not too far off. Especially like I told you this. It's, you know, a pretty massive undertaking. It's the biggest website project I've ever worked on. It's not even that close, you know. And I've done e-commerce stuff, and I've done built websites for stores and stuff, and uh, you know, this one is like the depth of it, and getting it all to kind of make sense. And right now, it almost makes sense, you know, how it is. We got some stuff to buffer out for sure, and but uh, you know, when you have that much content, it's difficult to know where to put it all, to where, you know, one section doesn't have too much, and the navigation bar is not, you know, filling in with each other, and how many menu items are too many menu items, and you know, and it's trial and error. You know, you code it, and then you save it and commit it, and then you go look at it, you know, and then you're like, oh, didn't look good, and then you go back, you know. So it, you know, it, it's, you know, I'll preview it to like my local server, you know, and at least be able to look at it before I commit, you know, commit it to the other server. But you know, a lot of back and forth and a lot of stuff that doesn't look quite right, and then you figure it out and try to make it look right. You know, even you when we were testing it out, you're like, I can't click. Like I click on a picture, and then I live in the picture now, you know, like, and
Sure.
and it took me forever to figure out what that was. And it was just that like I had done most of the other pictures in Lightbox, and for whatever reason, I like hard coded that section, and I wouldn't have figured it out. Like you going through it is the only way I would have figured that out. That I coded something in one section a completely different way.
See, we're co-creators.
Mhm.
Um,
For sure.
what else? What was the part of the site that you enjoyed working on? Like it was like interesting to you and maybe even new to you.
Dude, the set lists.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was super interesting because, you know, you had pictures. Some few times there was pictures attached of the actual set list or pictures from the show. And one thing I loved doing, which I had the idea of, was uh, on the albums, you know, being able to link to the lyrics into the tab
Yeah.
from the album, you know, and from the song. You can go right from, you know, checking out either or and being like, oh, you know, I want the tab from Rose Parade, and you can just click right there in the song and find it. So I was pretty happy with that. You know, I was like, oh, this is a cool, I think people will appreciate this, you know, and it's easier.
yeah, it's totally, it was a great idea to see that. And yeah, because the way the older site was is like you click here, click here, and then
Right.
I love what you did with the tabs, especially because instead of having all these individual links to individual tabs, you combined them all into one. So
Yeah.
people can
Y-
learn something out of all, maybe.
That's funny. And it's funny you bring that up, that part of it, because I went back and forth on the best way to do that. Like, do I link it up? Do they each have their own individual page? And or do I just kind of like put them all there and kind of clearly mark like whose version of the tab it is? And I went with that, and I think it's better that way. I think it looks cleaner, and you can kind of get an idea of it. But it's cool. And I don't know shit about tablature,
Yeah.
so making that look right, I relied on like a lot of help from like YouTube and reading about how can you make tablature look like tablature on a computer screen without just scanning a book of tabs. Uh, so that was a challenge. It took forever, by the
That,
way.
that was one of the biggest challenges for me when I was creating those pages. And because, I would copy and paste basically,
Yeah,
then it would just be all messed up. I had to fill in some, get rid of some spaces and all this stuff, and it took forever. But it sounded like
right.
we're there too.
And I mean, you're doing it in the middle of like this is all nerdy shit that nobody probably cares about, but you're doing it in the middle of a code bracket.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it makes it like uh twice as difficult because it becomes hard to tell what is tablature that you just copied and pasted and what is line of code because they look similar
Yeah.
in a weird way. So but yeah, that took a while. That was like a long like night session of trying to figure it out. But that's the thing about like building websites now is if you can get it right one time, you can get it right 40 times pretty quick, you know? And so once I got it right, that was like my template. I was
Uh,
like, this is how it is. And then it was easy from there. But getting it right the first time was a challenge for sure.
yeah. Now, the tablature page has always been a favorite. Scrutinized, appreciated
Right.
things. It's so key to the site, and I have to thank two people, Jonathan Vidal and Scott Kohler, um, for kind of creating the tabs that they created together as fans working together.
Super cool.
Yeah, and then I just reached when I started building the site out. At least I could play of what they were doing on
Right.
my phone and made sense. And I went and reached out to them and asked if I could republish it on my site, and they were all for it. And
Cool.
then it took off. Like, that's probably one of the most important parts of the whole web page.
Completely. It is the authoritative place to kind of find a bulk of Elliott Smith's, tablature stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Um, do you have any other stories about your experiences?
Just I think the gift of like you turning me on to Elliott was that I got to turn a bunch of people on to Elliott, and I think those are probably the coolest stories is, meeting somebody, however, and being like, you ever get into Elliott Smith, that initial conversation of like, let me see if I like this person or not, and you like them immediately if they're into Elliott Smith, and if they're not, you're like, well, I'm going to try to turn them on to it, and a week later, they better tell me how much they love Elliott Smith, or maybe we can't be friends. But over the years, I've told so many people about Elliott and my favorite tracks, and telling them which ones that, yeah, out of each album, what my favorite one is, and what my favorite album is, what my least favorite album is, and the camaraderie from it is pretty cool. And that's going on 30 years now of being able to do that. So it's cool, man. Elliott Smith builds communities. That should be the name of this episode.
Uh,
Elliott Smith builds communities.
it's a new program coming from the government soon.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Um, okay, since you kind of just blurted all that out, uh, don't tell us the least favorite album, but tell us
Okay,
the positive, like maybe five songs that you love. The album.
man. Yeah, I mean, my favorite album is still Either Or. It just holds like such a special place in my heart. It's my first, and also like nostalgia or not, it's just such a banger record in my opinion. It's just all killer, no filler.
No skip
But
kind of thing.
yeah, no skips. But I'll say off uh off of Roman Candle, you know, I would probably say I love Condor Avenue, but I would give like an honorable mention to Drive All Over Town, which I love, and the internet is divided on Drive All Over Town if you peek around. Um, and then off Elliott Smith, the self-titled, I love Coming Up Roses. That's probably my favorite track. That's one of my favorite Elliott Smith songs of all time. Um, but I also love Satellite, which I know is again another divisive one. I love Alphabet Town, and Needle in the Hay, obviously. But also I love Clementine.
Uh,
Clementine, and I love Christian Brothers and Southern Belle. I mean, I love so many of them. Then Either Or, I used to not love Speed Trials, but over the years, that's become one of my favorite tracks on the whole album. But Alameda, I love Angelus, and then XO, I love Tomorrow Tomorrow. It's again one of my all-time favorite Elliott songs. I love Oh Well Okay,
uh,
um, and Waltz Number Two, of course. You gotta. Uh, then off Figure Eight, I could just keep going. I could just keep going.
no, yeah.
On Figure Eight, I always loved Somebody That I Used to Know.
Oh yeah.
The first line of that song is just one of my favorite lyrics of all time. I had tender feelings that you made hard, which I just is poetry. Um, and then obviously I love Son of Sam and I love LA. I love Stupidity Tries again in my top five maybe Elliott Smith songs ever. Um, and then from Basement, I love Memory Lane. Uh, I love I love Strung Out Again, even though it's hard to listen to for me. I do love it because I've been there. I've been in that spot. So uh, it speaks to me, but it also does kind of make me kind of sad. Um, Fond Farewell, I love. Uh, you know, it's New Moon, you know, Angel in the Snow, a bunch of songs I'd heard a million times before that record came out, but Angel in the Snow. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I could give you a list of 100 that I love, you know. So
Cool. Um, I have a few more questions if that's cool.
sure, yeah, kick them off.
Um, so Elliot was known to be funny. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've seen a lot of things about Elliot's sense of humor and such. What do you think? What do you think of his comedy?
his comedy chops.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen. I think he was understated, and deadpan, and dry, and could be also silly and kind of goofy. You know, he'd be kind of in my lane when it comes to comedy, for sure. But yeah, I mean, he just seemed like he's super smart, obviously, and smart people are generally pretty funny. So I can only imagine that he was pretty funny. And you know, I would see clips of him, you know, banter and things,
Yeah.
and and sometimes in interviews, you know, just how he would answer a question was pretty funny. Uh, but he was super earnest, you know, and I think that's kind of, you know, he seemed like a kind of guy that, you know, what you see is going to be what you get, you know, and and he wasn't trying to impress anybody, and I think a lot of great comedy comes out of that.
That's awesome. Good way to look at it. Um, Another question is kind of going back to is that what did you think of Heatmiser music?
Yeah. I liked it. You know, I mean, I'm partial to the Elliott songs, of course, but you know, I mean, who wouldn't like Plainclothes Man? That's like so that should have been one of the biggest indie rock songs of that era.
Right.
You know, and it's one of those ones where I'm like, I just think the general public was uh a little late to the Heat Miser sound, you know, because they broke up and Elliott kind of started having some success, but you know, there was a million bands that kind of sounded like Heat Miser that ended up having a lot of success, you know, and but yeah, but yeah, again, partial to the Elliott led stuff, you know, not half right and stuff like that. I think Mike City Sons is an incredible record, you
Yeah.
know. So
Do you have that the newest printing
I don't. It's on my long list of things to get.
that you should
So
bring it up?
yeah,
It's a good one. It's a good
yeah,
music.
cool.
And what can I ask for the last question?
The
Gee,
final question,
final question.
the fond farewell.
Um, um, oh, gosh, it's so hard. I want you to hang out a few more minutes, but I know you have to go. Oh, now that you're kind of in the universe,
I'm in the Elliott sphere.
yeah, you're part of history now.
That's cool. It's good to be here.
um, or I mean, you're part of history in general, anyways.
Yeah, we all are. We all are.
Yeah, but I mean, what what do you um do you I don't know to ask. It's like because it's so much of a like it's a big pull. People nowadays is so different from when I was starting out, and even and then
Mhm.
watching other people develop what they had before Sweet Adeline. Um, I mean, how do you feel things have progressed? I guess maybe,
Yeah.
and how do you feel like you think you'll contribute? you know.
Dude, honestly, I'm here for any technical work. I'm also, who knows where the site goes now? It's it's really kind of a you have a kind of a blank canvas to make it whatever you want it to be, So all the history's there, but anything new you want to do, you can do, and it's easy to do. It's not super hard. The bones are there. So, I'll contribute and trying to bring whatever you get in your mind to life, and the best I can. And more than anything, I'm here just to appreciate it and for what it is and for what you're gonna try to make it and be as much help as possible. And if nothing else, it's really great to have someone who I consider a really dear friend that I get to spend some time with. So, of
Well, thank you.
course, it's true.
Yeah, and I feel the same too. Yeah.
So,
Always, when I was living in Santa Cruz, always looking forward to
yeah, you'd come out sometimes when I was down there,
yeah,
which was cool.
yeah. So till the next time I see you live, I'm sure it will be a comedy show. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Or we could just hang out, it's not that far.
yeah, no, I agree.
So,
Um, so thank you, Johnny, for doing my first episode of Memory Lane.
dude, it is an honor to be here, and I can't wait to interact with more Elliott Smith fans out there in the world because of it. So,
Cool. All right, I'll have to end like this. Okay, sorry.
okay,
Do 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 do.
dude,
Yay!
we did it.
I won't freeze.
Awesome.
Well, you have a good night. Thank you for so much for doing this, and
Of course, man, that was fun and so great to talk to you, and can't wait to see it come out.
yeah, we'll
Cool.
be out soon.
Cool. All right, bro. Sounds good. And I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Definitely.
All right, bro. Bye.
Take care. Bye.